everybody. Come on in. Hey, Kathy. Come on in. This is just me on Things and Stuff Live. We're going to hang out. I want to talk about a couple things. I want to try to make sense of stuff with you guys, talk it out with you. Something I want to talk about is Pete Buttigieg has dropped out of the Democratic race for president. He has ended his campaign. That shocked me. I did not see that coming. And instead of being relieved, I'm a little worried. And I thought we could talk about that. And Tom Steyer dancing to back that ass up. I may even pull that up and show it to you because that was fantastic. But there's a lot going on and a lot to talk about. Super Tuesday is coming up on Tuesday. I'm excited about that. We need to get into that and talk about that, discuss that coming up. So come on in, like and it's going great. Guten Abend, mein Fiend, which means good morning, my friend, my fiend. So right on, come on in. We're gonna talk a little bit. I want to unpack this Pete Buttigieg dropping out. I don't. How do you feel about that first? Let me hear. I want to hear how you guys feel about Pete Buttigieg dropping out. What that makes you think is going on, because I know, and you know, we all know that Pete is a plant. He is coached and trained for this, and was doing his purpose, which was to distract people and misinform people and scare people about Medicare for All and spread propaganda about Medicare for All. And in addition to that, was part of the Stop Bernie movement to try and pull enough delegates to keep Bernie from clinching the nomination, from clinching the 1991 delegates that it would take to clinch the nomination going into the convention. That's all they want to stop us from doing. They just want to stop Bernie from getting 1991 delegates. If they can do that, they can screw him over at the convention, which is what they plan to do. So we have to make sure that they don't do that, hold us under 1991 delegates. But Buttigieg was part of that plan. So, what is the strategy with Buttigieg dropping out? Is he joining Bloomberg's campaign? Now, that's my first thought. See, a lot of people would think Biden, but Biden is not your eventual frontrunner or their eventual puppet. It's Bloomberg. He's bought the Democratic Party. He's bought the DNC. He's paid for this whole thing. He has 2,000. More than that. It's a number big. Crazy at this. Bloomberg, I really believe, is the threat. They're going to pair somebody with Bloomberg to make a super ticket. Now, is that Buttigieg? In what way, in what role is he going to play now? I seriously doubt that he is riding off into the sunset in South Bend, Indiana. I am sure that he is still a part of the strategy to stop Bernie Sanders. And Julie says Warren stays to hurt Bernie. Warren intends to stay all the way into the convention, which I honestly thought Pete would do as well. They just want to pull enough delegates. They want to stop us from getting 1,991 delegates. If they can do that, they can force a broker convention, and as Julie says, the super delegates can choose, just like in 2016. Kathy says the CIA must have been threatened. No, he's going to play a role still. I really don't think we've seen the end of Pete Buttigieg. Now, whether it's joining CNN as a contributor and talking about Medicare for All propaganda nonstop, whatever it's going to be, that's going to be the weapon that they use him for, is spreading propaganda and lies about Medicare for All. But I really thought he would stay to try to pull delegates. Amy is doing the same thing, and Joe. They Nobody on that stage feels like they can beat Bernie in this primary. They know they can't beat Bernie. Hey, Kathy, they know they can't beat Bernie. They don't intend to. What they intend to do is pull enough delegates to force a brokered convention, keep Bernie from securing the nomination, and then they can undermine democracy again. Kathy says she heard he's making a deal with Biden. Now, why though? What would the strategy be in that? There's no super ticket with Biden. Biden's unelectable. And Biden has big problems with this Ukraine thing. So why? Why throw in with Biden? Kathy says the people he hired are so funny they will text never Bloomberg and then type in the scripted information. Money can't buy you love. Matter of fact, people are canvassing for Bloomberg, but really canvassing for Bernie. Ginger brought that up on a feed, and it is happening. So good on you guys, because he will pay you $2,500 a month to talk positively about him on your social media. Now I have close to 5,000 Facebook friends, and not quite a good following on Twitter, but decent following on social media. I could use $2,500 a month, but I don't know if I could bring myself to even saying anything positive about Mike Bloomberg. But he's throwing that kind of money at this, and I think he's going to be the one standing at the end that they're going to throw their support behind. Julie says a place in the cabinet. Hey, Cindy. Definitely a place in an administration. I know that he sold his soul for at least that. But to drop out, though, he's part of the strategy. He attended the Stop Bernie meetings. He was part of this plan. He still is part of this plan. They're doing everything they can to force this brokered convention plan. But why would they pull one of their, I would say, one of their more valuable players in the game, as far as being completely polished and a professional propaganda slinger? You wouldn't think they'd want to pull him out at this point. So where are they going to use him? What role is he going to play? I'm thinking a lot more media, doing a lot more media, talking about different things or different reasons why people shouldn't vote for Bernie or why Bernie couldn't win. He'll go into that kind of role, pushing that agenda. But Kathy says right now Bernie has a crowd of 10,000 plus. Is Bernie live right now? Bernie, that's the second time today. Come on, man. Take a break. You got Tuesday in the bag. No, you work, Bernie. Get out there and do it. I love watching Bernie. I watched me some Bernie today, earlier today. And he had a very large crowd there, too. And his body language is what I was digging on. He is exuding confidence, and his body language screams that we are going to dominate. Because he's going to have more information than we do. Kathy says, yes, he's live right now. Bernie, you working too hard. You know how hard it is to try to run live streams against Bernie Sanders? This revolution is immensely popular. They don't want to show anybody that. No, he'll never get a place in a Bernie cabinet. Absolutely. Neither will Warren. And that's something we need to talk about just for a little bit. Warren, I think, is the worst of the bunch. She plans to stay in all the way to the convention, knowing she may not even win her own state. You know, I don't understand how much you have to hate everything you say you represent to throw a wrench attempt to throw a wrench into this movement. She has no point, no place being in this race anymore. She has no hope, is not projected to do well at all on Tuesday, and should drop out as well. So should Klobuchar. But they're not going to, because they need to pull enough delegates. And that's really sad. And I see them combining in some way too, Warren and Klobuchar. That was kind of telegraphed by the New York, or was it the New York Times endorsement? Kathy says he's going nationwide as an anti-Bernie voice. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you are. He's going to be a weapon still. They are not going to throw away a polished weapon like that. They are going to continue to use it to the best of their ability. But yes, Bernie is tenacious. That man is working his butt off to make sure that he moves this revolution forward. He's doing absolutely everything he can, and I don't understand. Hey, Steve, I don't understand how everybody isn't a part of this. You know, I was trying to explain it to my son earlier, and I was being a little blunt, but it, to me, it's stupidity. The only reason not to be in this fight, to not be pushing for this revolution, is to not understand that everything, the entire establishment, the entire power system, is against this movement. And if you don't see that, you're choosing not to. You're you're blind by choice. I don't know what to tell you or what to call that besides ignorance. So, and way too many people are ignorant and don't even attempt to inform themselves. So, it is harsh. But that is the biggest reason not to support this revolution and be able to see what's going on. Because if you were informing yourself and really taking in the data, you could see clearly that this is the enemy of the power that lords over us. It's holding us all down. And then you have these people in these really poor states like Kentucky who, for the most part, vote against their own best interest, have voted in Mitch McConnell forever. And he does all he can to stop them from getting anything that they deserve. Kathy says, I know his speech by heart. We all do. I know, but sometimes I need to watch him. Sometimes I still watch it, and even though his speech is the same and he never flip flops, I'm still like, every once in a while I'll watch it, be like, man, he's making some good points today. Just amening. And Pete has been promised something. I am sure of it as well. Kathy said Pete has been promised something. I know he has. He's not done. We're not done with Mayor Pete. He's going to play some other kind of role here. We're going to see him in some other kind of way here. But Kathy says, my dad used to say that Republicans voted together and D's voted for themselves. Republicans are fiercely loyal. That's what everybody needs to keep in mind. I have a debate coming up. And by the way, if you can help me in any way and send me any information to train for this debate, I really want to do a good job. But I have a debate coming up against a blue no matter who and on Bernie's electability. So anything you can send me, stats or research or anything like that, I'm going to be cramming for the next 3 weeks. And then I'll let you guys know when that's going to air. But I'm going to try and really crush it. I really want to do a good job of, explaining that not only would Bernie win, he would dominate. And how good that would be for everybody. I really don't see a downside to it. But I think in the long run, Bloomberg is our ultimate enemy. And a friend of mine told me that Buttigieg is a distraction. I don't agree. I don't disagree with that. I think he is a distraction. He's a way to misinform your average person. Your average person is made dizzy by pretty speech. Someone that can string together words like Buttigieg, he can make the average person dizzy, and they don't even understand what they're being told anymore. Because he could speak forever and never say anything. He's valuable. And I bet you're going to see him all over the media. And he's dangerous. And I'm still gonna expose him. I'm not done with Pete Buttigieg. And I'm not throwing out my research on Pete Buttigieg. And now I'm going to come after Bloomberg harder. But I think we've seen the last victory out of Biden. I don't see Biden winning any more states. Is Biden projected to win any more states? I would really be amazed if he won at all. I was amazed he won, to be quite frank with you. He's never won a primary before. So that was a first for Joe. But what do you guys think? You apparently agree with me. Do you think Pete's going to end up in the media and be part of some joining up with someone's campaign? I would not be surprised to see him like co-run with Bloomberg or co-run with. I would be surprised to see him co-run with Biden. I'd be surprised to see anybody throwing with Biden. That's a sinking ship. I don't know much, about politics enough to call myself an expert, but I would pretty much think that one is done. You know, should be anyway. There should be no reason why Biden would have any future in politics at this point. But I'm worried about Tuesday. You know, I don't know if you guys have given much thought to it at all, but they're going to be pushing hard to stop us on Tuesday. They closed, what was it, 52 polling stations without notice in South Carolina yesterday. 52 polling stations. Now, how much do you think that hurt the turnout? You know it was strategic. Plus, they're going to call it at 0% reporting. And then I'm asking people on Facebook. I put a post on Facebook about how are you going to call it at 0% reporting. And everybody's like, oh, exit polls. Oh, really? Now we're using exit polls? Do we pick and choose when we use exit polls? Will we be using exit polls on Tuesday? Jack says the coronavirus is a distraction. It is. It is. And there's a lot to unpack with that one too as well, Jack. And Kathy says 52 in a very large precinct. They strategically closed 52 polling stations. There was shenanigans. There is always shenanigans, and there will be shenanigans on Tuesday. And I'm really worried about it. But here's a fun game to play with the coronavirus. Get you a bottle of Lysol. Jack knows what I'm talking about. Lysol protects against the coronavirus. It says so right on the can. And but there's a reason for that. Coronavirus is a term for a virus they haven't identified yet. And COVID 19 is what they're calling it now. But I don't think that. I don't think this is a pandemic. I think Jack is right that it's a distraction. And I also don't really understand why they're overhyping a minor respiratory infection. It's deadly to people with compromised immune systems. But to the regular person, it's a minor illness. They're not letting doctors explain it. They're letting talking heads on TV explain it and get everybody terrified to where they're all wearing masks. I live in Missouri, rural Missouri. There are people going through the drive-through with masks on. And then you see that they're having outbreaks in San Francisco. The first thing I thought when I heard about San Francisco having an outbreak was Tuesday. That's the first thing I thought of. Because when this outbreak happened, Hong Kong was in massive protests. The streets were flooded with people. Now they're clear. That all ended. And then I've also seen compelling evidence. This is. Something just hit the door. This is speculation. But Wuhan, the city where this outbreak happened, where it first happened, just rolled out 5G in a massive way. So Is this the effects? Is this a way to hide that? Is this a reaction to the immense radiation beaming from 5G and the frequencies? It would be a way to cover that. And Kathy says the coronavirus is a culling process. I knew I wasn't completely represented. She would know more. Kathy is a nurse, but it's a broad term, though, isn't it? So, because it's on the bottles of Lysol that it protects against the coronavirus, and I'm seeing that across all kinds of truther channels. That like, oh look here, they've known about this forever, and then it's even mentioned in a Dean Koontz novel. But there's a reason for that, isn't there, Kathy? It's a broader term. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but COVID-19 is what they're calling the virus now. Cindy voted last week. I thank you, Cindy. What state are you in, Cindy? I gotta find out when my state votes. Whoa, Kathy said 35,000 RSVP'd for the LA rally. Wow. That is amazing. That is going to be huge. Huge. You know, we're going to win this. But I think it's going to take us being very persistent, very active, doing everything we can and acting like we're losing the entire time. Pushing so hard, trying to get as many people out to vote as we can, trying to inform as many people as we can, and spread as much truth as we can before this comes to a head. Because this must happen. Cindy says Texas. How can they even report statistics here when so many of us can't even afford to go to the doctor? But that is one of the things that we're pushing for in this revolution because healthcare is a human right and people deserve to be able to get proper treatment. Yeah, I knew Texas went on Tuesday. I just didn't know where you were from. I was gonna guess California, but I wasn't sure. Like I know Steve is from California, but that's gonna be awesome. The LA rally. What day is the LA rally? I could find out right now, but let me see if I can beat Kathy to it. I'm gonna try and find out. So I gotta check that out because that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be like Bernie stock. Did y'all know we raised $46 million during February? And I saw a post where somebody was giving him crap because Elizabeth Warren raised something like that in a day. But Elizabeth Warren's using super PACs. It's not exactly the same thing now, is it? You're talking about 46 million at an average of $18 a piece. So that's crazy. Well, I haven't found it yet. Los Angeles, March 1st. That's today. So it's going on. That's the live rally happening right now. Oh my goodness. I'm on talking while Bernie's talking to 40,000 people. That explains everything. I have the worst timing. I've tried to research what the best time to do a live stream is, and you know what the answer you find? The most common answer? Whenever's best for the live streamer. Well, that's not true. That doesn't work. Jack. Jack says need to give people rides to polling stations. Absolutely. Great comment, Jack. Get everybody out to vote that you can. Make sure they vote and get these non voters to vote. These people got to realize they got to get involved. This system, rigged as it may be, corrupt as it may be, lords over us, lords over all of us. Whether you participate in it or you don't, it's still in charge of your life. It still has power over you. And it's foolish and dangerous to ignore that and to not get active and take part and do all you can to try to bring justice to this society and compassion. You know, I'm going to share that's the YouTube version of this exact same stream, but in case something happens to the feed, or if you just want to go over to YouTube, check out my YouTube channel, like a video, hit share. That would be great too. I'm trying to build that up. That's where all of my shows are at. If you like this, there's plenty to watch at that channel, so check that out. That's the stream, though, in case something happens. But yeah, give people rides and get out and inform people. Make sure everybody knows where to go, and then we gotta watch for that closing polling station stuff. They do that. That's not a new trick. They did that in 2016 as well. So Cindy says it really sucks that fundraising is placed above voting. What a scam. We need to get money out of politics. Citizens United is the worst thing that's ever happened to our democracy. One of the worst things, if not the worst thing. That has to end. We have to reverse this greed and this buying off of our system. So it's going to take a lot of work. This is a lot bigger than just getting Bernie elected president. This is a movement, a revolution. And we can make it happen as long as we understand that we got a lot to do and we put in the work. But it does suck that fundraising is placed above voting, that money is such a huge factor in our election process. Well, let's see. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm worrying too much? Or do you think there's going to be some shit pulled on Tuesday? I'm worried. I'm worried. I know a lot of people are real confident, but I don't feel like we should get confident. You can be confident, but always keep in mind some shenanigans are afoot. I almost said something worse, but I'm trying not to get banned. Trying to stay out of YouTube and Facebook jail as much as I can. But it's shenanigans. And it just really sucks that that is the reality. But it is. We got to make changes. We got to do all that we can to change this system and to change our society. And until we do, it's unfortunately the way that things are. But if we take ownership and we do all that we can overturn this whole rigged system. So this isn't my political show. We're just kicking around politics. Just happens to be what we're talking about at the moment. But get involved. Please. And if you think that you taking your ball and going home is doing something, not participating, that's ridiculous. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. It's giving up. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. They don't want an involved, active population. They want everybody dumbed down, lazy, just accepting what's given to them, not bitching and complaining, but taking your crumbs and liking it. That's what they want. Cindy says local and state elections are so important. Some people only care about the presidential election. Voting isn't just a right, it is a responsibility. You are absolutely right. And local and state elections are very important, and it's very important for everybody to get involved at all levels of politics. Because Jack's right. Otherwise, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. And the only thing that's going to stop it is massive involvement. And that goes for no matter how you feel politically. The only thing that would stop this path that we're on, is massive involvement on a tremendous scale. We could end this. We could do this. But it looks like Bernie just went live with the rally. I just got the alert anyway. So I'm going to check that out. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'm not going to compete with a 35,000 person rally. But thanks for hanging out and talking to me a little bit and talking out the Pete Buttigieg thing and the Bloomberg thing and Warren. And she's a snake. See you guys later.